So let's talk about the beginning of the end of my marriage. My sister found out she had cervical cancer back on January 3rd of 2022. All I wanted to do was be there for her. Like, once I found that out, like, my world was turned upside down because that's my only sister.
That makes sense. That makes sense.
We're 8 years apart, and, like, she's really all I know. At the time, I was running my trucking company and working two jobs. I was working as a travel nurse, a local travel nurse, and I was also working at a hospital close by, like 15 minutes away.
Hey, you were never at home.
My schedule was completely busy, but I rearranged everything to try to be there for her. I had the conversation with my husband, like, look, my sister is sick. She has cancer. She's losing a lot of weight. I'm really scared. She doesn't look good. I'm just going to put my focus on her. He didn't care.
He didn't care. Well, what do you say? I mean, he didn't care. I mean, it's a lot to tell somebody and for them not to care. Was it already trouble in the water?
So within the first month, she found out that January, she had a few doctor's appointments. What I couldn't take her to, my dad took her to. And then February rolled around. By this time, she had already had the port put in, and she was waiting to figure out her treatment plan because she was diagnosed with stage 3 cervical cancer. So this one particular morning, I was working my local travel contract in Columbia, South Carolina. I got off work, and I was driving back down. He usually calls me in the morning when I get off work, so that morning was just like any other morning. I get off, he called me, and he started accusing me of cheating and who I was talking to, blah, 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 which I was just like, why is he doing this right now?
By using context clues, I would say he probably started to venture out a little bit, see what's out there based on your busy schedule, and now you added more on top of it with the care of your sister. So he most likely had a guilty conscience, and that's why he's asking you all these questions.
Like, my sister is basically dying, and I knew it. And I was trying to process that. I was not thinking about no man. I was not really, my focus wasn't even on my kids.
All right, my sister. I get the benevolence of this. I get that it's your sister, but I have to call out. You're neglecting your family here. You're neglecting your family. Spouses always come first. I'm not saying he's in the right for not supporting you, for supporting your sister here, but definitely I can see why he feels neglected. And not only him, now your kids are feeling neglected.
So my focus was really on her. So anyway, I got off that morning. He started going in on me, and I'm just like, not today. I gotta get to my sister. I need to pick her up. She had a doctor's appointment.
And there it is. You say it became the norm for him to accuse me of cheating, even though he cheated on me countless times. He knew my whereabouts at all times, so I couldn't understand why he was so obsessed with accusing me of adultery. And I'm gonna let you know, sis, because his pattern of cheating had picked up substantially. Now he had no accountability. He had no means of checking in with you because you was always gone. You probably already always was gone and had weird hours with your trucking and nursing that you do. But now you gone pretty much 24/7. So because of that, men, we can't live like that. The Bible says it's not good for men to be alone. So he most likely was alone a lot. And he probably was doing some nefarious things. I'm just going to keep it real. When men, we're alone too long. We do some nefarious things. But all of a sudden, that conscience, that God in us begin to step up, and we begin to see the error in our ways. But we can't automatically blame ourselves. We got to look at our woman and say, look what you did. Look what you put me in. You must be doing something. If you allow me to do all this, you must be doing something.
This dude argued me down, and he just went, I don't know what got into him that morning, but he was like, you're gonna stop and talk to me, you're gonna come and talk to me. And he continuously kept accusing me of cheating on him with the doctor at my job, which that's a whole nother story, but I'll talk about that later. So by the time I got to, he always tracked me, had a track on me, so he knew when I got to our company office.
What y'all got going on? How come he the one that cheated But now he got a tracker on you. Do you have a tracker on him? That's something I want to know. But this is bullcrap. If you got to have a tracker in a marriage, there's no marriage.
So he met me there. But by the time I got there before him, so I had already gotten to the office, did what I needed to do, and I was back in my car. So he kind of met up with me, and he got behind me, and he started like threatening to ram my car if I didn't stop for him. So I ended up stopping for him, and I'm like, listen, I need to get to my sister. I have to pick her up. She has a doctor's appointment. Like, why are you being so selfish? Why can't you understand that?
Gotta be honest with you, it sounded like one of them Pookies, one of them Ray Rays. He was thug, wasn't he? He had thug life across his stomach. You just don't admit it. He was thug. That attracted you at one point or another. But I ain't gonna lie, sometimes the nerdy guys can be rageful as well. So he may have been that. But either way, this ain't the first time he's shown this rage. I'm not here to blame you as the victim, so to speak. But I want to ask, why are you in this relationship so long? Like, what was the thing that kept you there? Was it the kids? Was it the long-lasting relationship? What was it? What was the thing that kept you in this long, and why did it take this for you to finally pull the trigger in divorce?
Whole time, he started to be nice after that. Like, I don't really know what he was thinking, but he started saying like silly stuff like, just take your sister on a couple of vacations and, spend the rest of the little bit of time you have left with her. And I'm just like, did he hear what this man, like, do he see how she looked? Like, how am I supposed to travel with her? She could barely walk.
Well, most likely at this point, he was so used to you not being around. Now that you're home, he like, I miss my idle time. I miss my time by myself. Y'all go on a vacation. Go to the furthest place you can go. The third rock from the sun. I don't care where y'all go. Just get away from here. That's probably what he was saying. But he probably also trying to be nice because, it's a hard time. And he realized the damage he's done to the marriage and the damage he did to you with the whole ramming of the car situation. Let me shine some light on this moment.
I asked him if I can call my nephew father to come down from Jersey to be with my nephew, because this is just all new to us, it's just, and I worried about him a lot because I'm like, he's losing his mother. Like, your mom can't be replaced. He knows that his auntie gonna be there for him. He knows that my mom, his grandmother's gonna be there for him. But, none of us had lost a mother, so I wanted his father to be there with him. So I talked to my husband about it, like, do you mind if he come down and he could stay in our guest bedroom, and just we could all sit around time. My parents could come over and stay over in the other guest bedroom, and we could just all be here, for Diane in her last days. He agreed. Was no issues. Yeah, sure, baby. Like, whatever you need, I'm here for you. When my nephew's father flew in the next day, like, shit just got real chaotic. He started acting different, started acting funny. He started like being loud in the house. He started laughing and just joking around. And I'm like, do he know this is not the time nor the place? Like, this is not it.
He lost all care for you and your family at that point because first off, he wanted his isolation back. But secondly, he didn't respect you. He didn't respect you or your family at this point.
So by the end of that day, I was exhausted. So I'm just like, let me get upstairs, take a shower, lay down, get some rest so I can get back up and get downstairs to continue taking care of my sister and just, be around her. And when I got upstairs, all hell broke loose. So catch me in part 2 for the beginning of the end of my marriage.
Well, we may do that, but we will definitely address part 1. You guys were dealing with a double whammy. You were dealing with 2 of the top reasons that leads to divorce, 2 of the top causes that leads to divorce, which is in-laws and someone being a caretaker. It's a very unfortunate event for you and your family and your side of the family. And that's the thing that I want to hit on here, not in the means of condemning you, but a means of shedding light. It sounds like already prior to your sister becoming ill with a terminal illness, you guys' marriage was already hanging on by threads. It was already so many things going on with you guys, and this was just the straw that broke the camel's back. You guys could have came together and became a strong force that would help the family through this tough transition. But being that your family and your marriage was already on the rocks, it cannot stand up to this horrific moment. In-laws, it's a tough thing because it's a tough situation. But the truth is, you did put your sister and your side of the family prior to your actual family, your husband and your kids. You admitted that yourself. So that's a strain on the marriage. Although it may be set aside and may be for a particular time, but it's hard for a spouse to be placed secondary to anyone. It's hard to see your wife or your husband put your children before you, but this is not even your kids. This is someone outside of your household that you got to watch your spouse put before you for months at a time. And then the caretaker. You being the caretaker is stress on you where you have to focus your emotions and your physical presence. You have to be so present with someone else that when you come home, you don't want to hear that crap. You don't want to hear anything that's taking your focus off of what you are accomplishing with your sister. You're trying to keep her alive, but then you have a dead situation at home. It's tough. It's one of those things that we discuss at the altar. Rich or for poor, sickness and health, to death do us part. But it sounds like, just from what you're saying, the foundation of your marriage was so far gone that anything, and I do mean anything, could have been the final straw. I am following your journey, so I'm happy to hear that you are doing well right now and that you are recovering tremendously. However, I want this video to be a lesson to so many. Put your marriage as a top priority. In my life, God is number one. My wife is clearly number two. Everything else comes after. There's nothing in life I will place before her other than the Lord, because I do know everything else will leave my life. When everything else leaves, including my beautiful daughter, she's here. And whenever I do something outside of our house, I join with her in order to accomplish that together. If she ain't with it, I'm not with it. But I'm going to say this last thing here. I know you had to be the one to step up, or at least that was the indication that you felt. But oftentimes, for anything outside of my house, I look at that situation and say, if I don't do it, who will do it? So whenever I have to tell an extended family member no, I check back on them later on and realize, oh, someone ended up doing it. It don't always have to be through me. I was just their next option, but I'm not their only option. That's a lesson we can take from this. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure you hit that follow, subscribe, depending on the platform you're watching, and hit that like button for your boy. I want to hear from you in the comments section. What are your thoughts on this topic? And I'll tag my friend here as well. You can go tell her how you feel. See you guys later. Peace.
Let's go.